We're gonna hand it into the bird. We got some star talent reset points, a couple of balloons. You want to save those balloons? I'll show you how to use them properly later. And here we are. World 2. Down by the desert. And this is where the magic happens. First off, right off the get-go, is a mechanic called alchemy. If you can understand the nuances of alchemy, let's bring it on the basics here. If you put a character in here, it will generate liquid. Liquid can either be used to attempt a new bubble or allow you to boost, okay? Your bubble chance for a new bubble is right here. So right now, I have a 100% chance to brew a new bubble. So if I try it, there it is. In order to level up a bubble, which is what you're supposed to do. By the way, this is I even still to this day, after 25k hours, I'm still working on alchemy. You will need liquid, which is generated from your liquids tab here, and material in order to level this up. Okay? So there's two different. You have colored liquid, and you have the normal liquid, or the other liquid, the water, so to speak. Okay? There's two different things. So don't get it twisted. And then you have vials. And then you have the pay to win tab. But for now, you're not going to be able to do much of that. So for now, just focus on just the orange cauldron and the green cauldron up until a point that in the orange cauldron, you get a thing called FMJ, and in the green cauldron, you get a thing called... I should know this. I say it all the time. What? How the hell did I forget the name of it? Am I stupid? I woke up in stupid town? What do you mean? Chakracy. I don't know why I forgot that. Yeah, FMJ in the orange cauldron, Chakracy in the green cauldron. Just never mind me. My dudes, did you know a whopping 77% of you guys are not subscribed? And if you want Momo to eat today, I suggest you do so. Just do it. And then the pay to win tabs are just like to help with boost, new bubbles, stuff like that. Alchemy speed, extra XP to attempt for vials, but that's really expensive right now. And that's not something we're going to worry about. We have some smaller mechanics here to start off. We have a thing called Kilroy. Obviously, you can only do one now. You can have a maximum of 3. It's where you go in a little time trial. Get as many kills you get some bonuses. Do this as soon as you can. Even if you get like no skulls from it, it's based off a weekly reset. So getting started on it just for the upgrades is worth it alone. Yes, do your Kilroy. And then the Desert Gary requires level 35, so we can't even do that yet. This is the Clown. This is where we do something special. This is where we do Arcade. Now, Arcade can give us a ton of gems. Because if we go over to the shop here, or info, we have a thing called the Jackpot, which will give us 2,000 gems, 250 balls, and 3,000 golden balls. Okay? 2,000 gems. Good luck hitting this, by the way. And then in the red one, we have, well, essentially the item that helped make my career in IdleOn, known as the Red Hat. This is, doesn't really matter, but there, you can get a multitude of things in here that will actually definitely help you. Be very beneficial. Now, let's go into the shop before we start anything and make sure that we have enough for... We're a little bit broke still, but this is what we want. So when we get that, we'll talk more about statues. And then we also want the Bob Joe Pickle, but we're not quite there yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. So we need to... Usually I like to stockpile statues until we actually able to unlock it for everybody. So until we get to that point. Now, I could also go for a thing called Megalodon. I'm actually going to avoid going for Megalodon just because it takes skill to get, and it kind of makes things a little bit easier for me. So we're just gonna hold off on this. So this is Cowboy Jones. We're gonna push with him. He needs 10,000 sandy pots. Good luck. You're going to be here forever. And as you can see, they're getting a little strong now. Okay, so obviously it was a joke. Do that quest, get that going. Nice little 5 gem Runeskis. And then we want no hat kills, so we got to take off our hat. And before we continue this, yeah, so he's still in the trenches of World 7. He's getting there. Awesome. Make sure we check our characters. We didn't really check them quick enough, unfortunately. But we did end up... Did we have the Strange Rock questline? We did. So now we can finish the Strange Rock questline on everybody. So we're going to go ahead and... We get some free stuff from that as well. We can go ahead and push a little bit more. And we got a couple of points here. We're just going to throw this into Gilded Sword. And Polymer Limbs, of course. And we're going to make our way. Now, usually what you would have done is you would have taken everybody to walking sticks. But I think at this point in time, we might be able to avoid it. Not 100%. Nice little level ups there. Now we're obviously going to do some more here. We want 10 points, I would think, for... Remember, agility for mages is accuracy. And you notice how this whole entire time, I have not put any points into mana, into HP, into defense. That's where this game really gets people, is they treat it like a traditional RPG, when in retrospect, it is not at all like a traditional RPG. Not even close. Kind of has it's kind of like a hybrid, more or less. Okay, get that quest going. Nice little, you know, it's not giving us much, but it's giving us a little bit of XP. Just keep us rolling and at a steady pace. Just give us a ramping amount of points here. Get that. Perfect. So right now we're pushing everyone to Amarok because A, it's giving us levels. B, it's getting us set up for subclasses because World 2 introduces subclasses. Now, I'm scared to check, but do we have a 4th character? No, we need level 70. Thankfully. The worst part is always doing... Now, obviously an old thing clicked. I don't like doing early game new characters personally because then you have to like check everything and make sure everything's good. But once we get into Amarok, we'll make sure to touch everyone with Alchemy. But if you create a new character, you want to make sure you do that right away. So now we're just going to be working on getting some no hat kills. Working on getting that quest line done. Make sure we check our thread. We got that rolling. We could do Trusty Nails, but we're going to hold off from it for a little bit. Now, when it comes to upgrades here, you may be wondering where to put your stuff. Speed. Speed is always... Don't want to do bonus XP. Speed is always going to be highly suggested. Now, we have a lot of unlockables that we could go through. Like we have the copper ore, we have the oak logs. That is something that we definitely want to do. We're almost there. I would say getting started on your skills pretty soon is going to be advantageous for us, but it's not necessarily something that we need to do right away. We do need to get on it if we want to make Amarok gear anytime soon. But I'm trying to unlock the task word first before we go ahead and do that stuff. So we're all done with the no hat kills. Hand that in. Now he's going to get us to make another character. We equip that now. Put that in. Throw that in. And then we are off to the races with 459. Okay. So since we're AFK waiting for that, we're actually going to head on in, touch the alchemy. We ready for another one? We can. Boom. Nice. Warrior's Rule, very strong, by the way. It's a multiplier. It multiplies all the small bubbles within the warrior-based bubbles. So, to give you an idea, orange is warrior specifically bubbles. Green is archer specific bubbles. Purple is mage specific bubbles. And yellow is kind of just like miscellaneous for the most part. But just hyper focus the two big ones, the orange and the green. The purple eventually becomes very viable, but we need those two bubbles as soon as possible if we want to make any meaningful progression. And probably also at this time, it probably wouldn't hurt for us to maybe do the skilling quest lines here. Obviously, we don't have to do it on every character, but I think we should, just for the sole fact that we want the ability to get a little extra stat sticks. And now we can kind of do a little bit of the attack cancel here. Okay, now we need to collect 30 oak logs. This is extreme gaming right here. This is how you game. This is the way to be. Oh, hey. I think we have a little visitor. Let's see if I can grab her. Work. You're at work. You gotta make that money. You know? Gotta make that money. You know? Here. Got a job to do. All right. Now we finished the quest. And we got a chopping power plus 1 whiz. Now, was that worth it? Probably not. But you know what? It was worth it for me. Because now we're starting to get in the good mindset that getting every character and tools. Because every character and tools is going to be important. And then we also have a quest here. Where we also need to mine some ore. Perfect. And now this teaches us how to use the forge. Now, there's a secret quest here. You want to take that off, okay? That was quick. You didn't see it. It was very quick. This gives you an achievement. Pro gamer move. Which is to create a ore, essentially, without using that up. So that's just some free gems. And then we need to buy 2 upgrades. So I think we're going to grab more forge space and more forge space. I think that works. And then we got some more gems. Boom. So then we also have a carry capacity and a junk pickaxe. So there it is. And then I need mining level 11, but we're not going to do that right away. Now, you don't have to do this. This is pretty tedious stuff, to be fair. Like, ultra tedious. But I like to do it. I think we should also kill Glunko again for another necklace. Because we need necklaces on every character, because that's actually a really good necklace for us. Probably should have done it on my stronger character, but that's fine. Oh, and I also got the goopy boots from it as well. 15% money. I'm actually going to go ahead and throw that on my warrior. Momo's being very, very finicky today. Momo doesn't want to know if they wants to stay or wants to go or where to go. And since we're already on the warrior, we're just going to go ahead and do a Kilroy. Now, obviously, I'm not going to get very far. Okay? I'm barely going to be able to do anything. The main thing is just to wait just so I can get the upgrade. Maybe get a couple of skulls. But it's not going to be anything of worth. It's just for the upgrades. That's it. Just for the upgrades. But later on, this gets a lot better. And you get... So to give you an idea, I've done Kilroy since it's released. Give or take, I might have missed maybe 1 or 2 weeks at most. I can get 5,000 Plinko balls a day. Okay? Or sorry, not 5,000 a day. 5,000 a rotation. A weekly rotation. And this basically pays for itself because you can do it in total 6 times, but you can only do 3 for free, and then you have to pay another 400 gems. When I do it, it pays for itself and then some. I can sometimes get a net worth of 1,000 extra gems, or sometimes there's been net worths of 4,000 gems. Kind of just depends on the situation or how lucky you have gotten. You know, you get lucky and hit jackpots. The amount of candy that you get from it. So now it may not be necessary for you guys, but it doesn't hurt to get started, especially if you really like IdleOn and you plan on playing it for the long haul. So yeah, that was very, very thrilling. So Now we can upgrade 3 things. Obviously, we need to complete a bunch of runs in order to unlock it. Just throw in a timer. Get that started. Now you got the ball rolling on that, which is the main thing. We're not going to touch anything here. We want to make sure that we also throw all our money in here, just so we can make purchases and buy the golden tool. Let's go ahead and throw our stats here. We're just going to go 30 here. We're going to go max this out, and then we're going to swap over the preset. Now, we haven't really gone over the mage's preset. So, rule of thumb is kind of the same as before. Mage is very good with wisdom for, efficiency and stuff like that. MP is going to be really good for chopping later for my alchemy bubble that we were talking about before. But same as before, we're mostly going to be focusing on the efficiency, which is the bottom left, and then the AFK gains. Usually giving it like 10 will give you like 4%, which is actually quite considerable. You have like 40%. So adding that 4% is a 10% increase, right? Even do a little bit more. I think that's good. I like the 15. 15's looking nice. Wouldn't necessarily pop anything when you have your fighting preset. I mean, you could if you want, but not really massive on it. So, this is pretty big, okay? I didn't really need to put a point in that. That has nothing to do with it. This right here. Logs on logs. Strongest. Literally. Now we can actually tap points now, thankfully. Logs on logs, by far the strongest, okay? What this does is it gives me 88% more logs than normal for 6 minutes. And you can get this really, really high. This is something that you max first comparative to everything else when it comes to specifically logs. And this is a big juicer. So now that we got that done, same thing. Go to grab some more. Hand it in. Copper ore smelt. Do this. Do that just for practice in case you missed the first one. Do that, get some upgrades, and there you are. Boom, that one done. Easy peasy. Hand that in. Equip that bad boy. Consume that. Put that in storage. Moving on. Let's go get ourselves some wood. Now, I want to show you how strong this is, okay? So let's go ahead and hit the log. AFK info. 302, which is pretty good. Hit that. Excuse me? Hello? Are we bugging out here? Okay, I swear I'm not crazy. I promise you that this is the play. Is it just not strong enough to make a difference? Or did I already have it equipped? Okay, I think I'm just trolling myself. I might be just straight up trolling myself. But this goes to actually a really good tip. If you're ever trying to remove any buff whatsoever, which there will be times that you want to remove buffs, okay? There's like later on, you want to remove them. The easiest way to do this is going to party dungeons. Just entering the main hub. Party dungeons, since it just makes it so it's its own entity, actually removes all buffs. So then you can just take it all off, and then you're good to go. So let's try this again. 314. Why am I getting more now? Okay, I don't know what's that. Bro, what? This game is so goofy sometimes, dude. Like, actually. Now it seems like I'm absolutely just gaslighting you guys. I promise this is not gaslighting. This is, I swear, this is good. Okay, it's one of the best abilities in the game. When it comes to wood chopping wood, I promise. Now we're gonna get a bunch of endgame chat saying I spread all the misinformation here. Goofy ass Timu looking game, dude. Back to Dragon Hunter Idol. Anyways, moving on. What we also need to do next is we need to create a guild. I think a guild is definitely something that's in our realm right now. And we also need to check Owl. See how Owl's doing. See if it's generated enough for us to upgrade it up a little bit. We also need strange rocks, but whatever. It's not a big deal because we have to farm this off anyways. So 417. Are we in the right preset? Always make sure you're in the right preset. Yeah, okay. Cool. And we might put a little bit of points in there. And then, of course, in there. Excellent. See how this guy's going on. 134. Nice. So we do have 11 gold now. I keep on thinking we have RAM. So let's make our way down. And let's grab ourselves one of these. And then we walk up here. And now we have unlocked a new statue mechanic. Now, Statue Man is now gold. So this is very good for us. And this is the tab that unlocks for dropping that. So whenever we pay for that, those statues officially become account bound. So if you're looking to have one character that's your pusher right now, you will deposit all of them on one character. Because the problem is if you disperse them, what ended up happening is when you unlock that, it takes your highest level and uses that. So say if you have one character that has level 15 power statue and another character that has a level 10 power statue, it will prioritize the level 15 power statue, and all of those statues that it took to get to level 10 on the other character disappears into the ether. Just if you want to be a little bit more budget friendly. Tasking activities. This is what we need. So now we have Grassland Gary. This opens up a brand new realm of tasks and also a brand new realm of upgrades. So this is known as the task board. These are specific things that you need to do in order to get special unlocks. So we did 2K, we leveled up 30 times, we leveled up 70 times. That means we're ready for a new character. We upgrade stamps, and we also so to be clear here, when it comes to task boards, rule of thumb, the 7 that here, the 3 on the top, the 3 in the middle, and 1 in the middle here are just achievements overall. The bottom left is specifically boss tasks. Now you might be asking, why is that important? Boss tasks are how you unlock boss armor. And the bottom right is daily tasks for your guild, because you can do GP tasks. If we go to the merit shop here, we have gotten a couple pieces of merits due to the fact that we have done a couple of tasks. Now we can unlock one of the best star talents in the game. Hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is incredibly strong, and it is crucial that you would, for right now, the 2 things that you should be focusing on, hemoglobin and Amarok gear. That's it. And then we can go here and we can get some new recipe unlocks because if you look here, you see how you have a ribbon? That's for the merit, to level up your merit bonus, and the trophy. If you get enough of those trophies, you get an unlock, and an unlock is for one of these. And the more you unlock, the more you get to keep going. And this unlocks stuff such as, tools, which is very important. You got stuff like weapons, boost food, even gems, but do not buy those yet. So what I would go right off the get-go, steel axe. Okay? That's the cream of the crop right there. And then I would probably get my weapons first. This is definitely something you want to get: your quarterstaff, you want to get your birch bow, and you want to get your steel axe. So we're going to probably do birch bow next, get that out of the way, and then we're going to do quarterstaff and get that out of the way. Now, once we got that done, we need to start working. Now, we could defeat Amarok 5 times, which would be hunky-dory and all that, but we're going to hold off on that just for a little bit because we want to keep on progressing. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and make sure that we have purchased everything from the shop. We do have some more gold. So we did not purchase that storage, but we did purchase that storage. So we're going to go ahead and finish off this storage. We're going to get that out of the way because storage in this game is oh so important. And you see these slabs right here? Those are Amarok slabs. Those are your boss materials that you're going to need later in order to build your gear. Now, before we continue, you might have decided that you've bought an auto loot and you're a little bit unsure of what to buy. A really good rule of thumb is to watch my gem shop tier list guide. That would definitely help a lot. But just to give you some ideas of what to purchase first, if you take a look at bonuses here and you go into World 1, this one, right off the get-go, you buy instantly. Okay, this is your first buy no matter what. So it allows you to produce multiple items at once, which is very good because production items are pretty slow. And then you want to buy about 4 of these. Okay, 4 of these are pretty good. And then it just makes bars faster and increase multi-bar chance so you save materials. Anything after that, you're kind of going overkill. But you also see here how you have ivory bubble cauldrons and you have bleach liquid cauldrons. This is the one for the liquid tab that I was telling you about. This is the one for the tab that your characters are on currently to unlock new bubbles. This is why you don't want to get mixed up, because you'd be like, oh, I'm going to purchase this because it's going to help with liquids. No, it only helps with the colored cauldrons. It does not help with the liquid cauldrons. You want to keep that in mind. And then we can probably, those are pretty much good for now. And then I would eventually think about buying storage and all that stuff, but you can hold off for the time being. And also sometimes there's some freebies in the shop, which I would suggest to instantly pick up. But as saddening as it is a rule for us that we're not allowed to buy it. So, I mean, it sucks, but it is what it is. Now, we want to probably make a few more purchases here since we got some gold. We want to make sure that we're juicing up efficiently here. We don't want to waste too much of our time. Stamps get higher bonuses. Awesome. We're going to get this up to 10 silver. So you can do a lot of this in your own sort of realm that you think is good. Because remember, this is just a guideline, just a thought process of how I will do things. It's not a set in stone, like if you don't do this, you're doing it wrong type scenario. That's not what it is at all. This is just more or less just a good suggestion marker. Just so you're not essentially lost in the dark, wondering why you can't essentially progress. Now, what does it take to build the new axe here? So slime, sludge, and boring brick, and it requires level 12. So we're pretty far away from that. So we just need to keep on popping on through and just building thread. Now, it would be nice if we had the 300 gems to be able to get that done, but we're dealing with what we got. Now, I could just take some from the inventory, but boom, boom, boom. All done. Yo, shout out to Teo. That's totally Teo right there, I think. All right, there we go. Now, we could probably upgrade stamps a little bit, but we're going to avoid it for now because we want to set up for a brand new character. Character number 4. It gets a little much after a while. Make sure we're in the right preset. And this is where we get to a point where we have some accuracy, but we really don't have enough. We're going to have to really start ramping that up because Sandy Pots already requires 30 accuracy. We need like 200 and something to be able to farm walking sticks if we do choose to take that method. And since we're on this page, Goblet of Hemoglobin. Killing a monster also heals you for a percentage. This scales really high later game. Okay. This is literally what keeps survivability up without requiring the use of food. And it scales very high with AFK gains. So it's very good overall for survivability. Let's quickly check our other characters. Lovely. Same as before. Hemoglobin, boom. Will of Eldis. Throw 10 in there. High polymer limbs. Remember, we're pushing Amarok here. And then just make sure you take a look at your thread. Make sure your thread's good. Then you move on to the next character. Okay, level 18. We got our strange rocks. Hand that in. Our Glunko is up as well. We want to make sure to smack the Glunko around. What's our damage? Yeah, we can take him on. But you see right there, just by using literally 2 spells, look how much mana we've already used. It took us almost a full mana bar, and we're already struggling still. Perfect. Another necklace down. Got to keep those necklaces will carry us for a fairly long time as well. And you're probably wondering what these critters are. You don't need to worry about them till World 3. They're not important until World 3. We handed that in, right? Yeah, we did. Okay, cool. And then we're eventually going to need carrot cubes and bleach logs, but it's only giving us the carrot horror and the scouting report, so not really something we need to worry about right away. 507, make sure it's there. Perfect. What? We are level 69, dude? Like, I mean, nice. But that's... I thought we were high enough level. Damn it. It's okay. So we'll come back when we have this open and we're ready to continue. Look at this little puffball. Look at this little puffball, chat. Look at this little puffball. All right. We are back and we have the spot open. We didn't get any drops. We're level 29. So this is the next Coliseum. Defeat all mimics before time runs out. We want to do this. I don't think we can right now. So this is how we get our next Coliseum ticket. Actually, we should be able to. It's going to be tight. It depends on the respawns, I think. So then if we do this, we get 2 Coliseum tickets a day, which is what we want. Now, this spot right here, this teleporter, this will take us to another party dungeon. Or it's on the way to another party dungeon, I should say. Because there's one map before that. We will eventually unlock that, but at this point in time, we actually don't need to. And we did it. So now, we should get more Coliseum tickets. And that also means that we will get 2 a day, which is perfect. And then, yeah, we need to do class level 45. And what's our AFK info here? 367. So we are getting a little bit, I would say, slowing down a little bit, but that's okay. We're still pushing. We still have lots of survivability. We're getting great defense. I mean, we should definitely spend some more since we have 11 gold here. More damage, always important. More monster attacks, always important. More talent points can never go wrong. More XP can never go wrong. Definitely more of that. That's getting really expensive. More of that. And then carry capacity, always warranted. Love me some carry capacity. Then we need literally 2 more upgrades for the next one. We'll probably just do some more monster cash. And this gives us drop rate. And then Happy Dog. Okay, you want a secret? Happy Dog literally does nothing. Literally pointless level. It's just extra numbers to pad so you can level up stuff faster. That's literally it. But it scales so ridiculously high. And then Slice and Dice. An extra 4 base damage. Perfect. So our AFK now is 370. It went up by, I think, 3, which is, you know, can't complain. Swap over. Gus Chungus. He's probably... He needs 30 more kills. That's fine. Just make sure everybody has their individual card. We don't really need that. Movement speed, always nice. Obviously, the 4 weapon power, huge. Health, I mean, I'd rather do like base MP and wisdom, you know, just kind of push that MP a little bit because that's our biggest problem. And of course, always check. You're gonna see, the thing is like, it doesn't feel like that important now, but I'm getting you trained in the habits of doing it, because once you get into the later game, you're going to be doing it religiously. Constantly, if you will. Now it's time. Hold on, I want to see. Can we get rid of that gem offer? Okay, so that's always going to be there. Now, are we able to get this without even having to do anything? Dev stream? Did that work? Did we not? Discord? So I think that did work. So if you just click those buttons and then leave right away, it's a free 100 gems. So that's huge. We're still 75 gems shy of that. That's okay. Anyways. It's time to create another character. This is where we create our first duplicate. I am going to create another warrior. I think that's going to be ideal for us at this moment in time, I think. So, there's no way in the history that Unga Bunga is going to be available. I don't believe it. Yeah, that's what I thought. How about Unga So I Bunga? How about that? There's no, right? There. Chef's kiss. Unga So I Bunga. You know, I think this point in time, we're not even level 30 yet. Never mind. Never mind. I thought we were going to be level 30 so we could create a guild. Never mind. I take that back. It was stupid of me to think that was possible at this moment in time. It's been a while since I've created a guild, to be fair. It's my own idiocy. Stupado. Okay, so now we're at the spot where we can create our fourth character's class. Obviously, when we're creating our first 6, we want 2 of each. So 2 warriors, 2 archers, 2 mages. We made a warrior first, so we're obviously going to go for another warrior here, because these are also going to help with our subclasses. And then we're going to probably go warrior, archer, mage again for our next 6 characters. And then we can talk about maybe doing something different for our 7th character, and then talk about duplicates. We should have the money to be able to buy the statue guy now. Yep, there it is. And you see how he instantly went gold? That's because we don't need to get any more than what we have now. But remember, just upgrade on one character only. Let's go ahead and grab our spear. And away we go. We will be getting started on skilling here pretty soon. I do want to just push everyone to Amarok. And once they got the Amarok, then they can jump on skilling. Okay, we get 700 kills right here. That's actually pretty good. Actually not bad for where he's at. Okay. Check on mimics here. And now kind of the deal is we're going to be kind of quick swapping throughout everybody, making sure everybody's nice and progressing smoothly. There isn't anything weird going on. Making sure they're all progressing as normal. And getting them moving on to the next place because they need their subclasses ASAP. Same thing with this. We did it. Time to get the 3 bones. And we also want to... Oh, we never teleported. Okay, so... quickly do that. Quickly do that. How many teleports do we have? God, we have such low amount of teleports. Give you an idea, main account, I got 1,700 teleports. So it does get pretty excessive. You just get to a point where you literally teleport everywhere. This is though probably the worst part about the main game. Is if you can get used to the constant walking and the constant teleporting, it does get a lot better. You get a lot more movement speed too. So we are not going to run there. We are just going to reach the boss room. There we go. Should I use a bit of teleports? Yes, but you get more teleports every day, by the way. It's not just those are it, and you get no more. There's definitely more teleports. I do have 51 home teleports now, but I just find it easier just to do it the other way. All right. Now let's collect the wood boards, so then we can unlock our Amarok keys. Then we can go ahead and push. We're actually doing some serious damage now. More than what we were doing before, that's for sure. Is you guys' card set up? Yeah, he does. Okay, there we go. Wood board's done. And that in. That's another free 6 keys for us. Also, I should probably make this, talk about this as well. This one gives you 5 forest keys, okay? For doing 25 Amarok slabs. This does not consume on turn-in. So all you have to do is get 25 Amarok slabs, and then you can turn in all the 25 on each character. You just have to swap the 25 through each character and get yourself a ton of keys for free. Especially helps when you're trying to farm for Amarok gear. Now, usually what happens is, since he has so much range, he's actually in range of the sword. So what you just do, if you just have to click inside, and then you just move out of the way. You're just basically a melee archer. At least it's not like old school Maple Story. If you are melee with your bow, you just start melee attacking and lose all your damage. God, that was so horrible about classic Maple Story. That was like the worst thing about it. If you know what I'm talking about, yeah, that's old, man. That's old stuff. All right. We got a copper band. Kind of useful, kind of useless. And then we also got our mage-specific chest gear. I mean, this is just easy just to throw on the guy. But if you haven't noticed by now, this game is taking inspiration from Maple Story and from RuneScape. If it wasn't incredibly obvious. And then this is just the same thing. Will of the Eldest. You can go ahead and trash that or sell it. You do you. And then we go ahead and we move on in. And then we start farming sandy pots. Still not taking no damage though. And then we got this. Boom. No hat kills. Now we want to quickly do these quests just because, I mean, it's free XP. You get a little bit of extra gems, a little bit of everything. Doesn't take long. Man, Vault really made this game busted. Like, holy moly. I like it though. I think Vault was a really good addition to the game personally. I think the game did have a high difficulty spike and it already had a high curve, but just having the difficulty spike made it even worse. So the fact that the Vault does make it a little bit easier all around, I think is a good update. Oh, now that we're done that as well. See, we even get some time candy from it. We want to stockpile as much candy as possible. We'll be using it later, but... And we cannot afford that. Can we sell? Not enough for it to be worth it. I guess we'll tackle that situation a little bit later here. It's a problem for another time. Got our alchemy leveled up. Can we also... do any extra upgrades here? No, not quite. We're almost there, but not quite. That requires 5, and that requires... We will be dumping a ton of cash soon into alchemy, but right now we're kind of at the early stages, so we have some time to breathe. We've also been doing this very fast. You got to remember we've only, grand total, I think 3 hours. So a lot of the AFK progression hasn't really caught up with us yet. When I go to bed and wake up the next day, then it's going to be... or micromanage a little bit off stream. It's going to be able to show it, and I'll be able to tell you guys what I did off stream, so you guys have a good idea of what's going on. So while he's farming sandy pots, that's good. That's what we want. Got our kills there. Perfect. Ooh, you know what we forgot? Do we really need to teleport? Are you kidding me? Might as well teleport. We didn't do that for our last characters. We might as well do it for this character. Okay, here we go. Then we have to reach map 3. Ay, ay, ay. Talk about a complete inconvenience here. We had to grab our beautiful little necklace that we have here now. Huge inconvenience. Holy. Always checking your anvil and stuff. Always making sure you're for the most part, just it's all about micro. I think micromanagement is a huge part of this game. So if you're able to get decent at micromanagement, it's actually pretty good. But I think out of all the games that I've played, you know, I've played Final Fantasy XIV, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 1 and 2, MapleStory, RuneScape. You know, I even dabbled in a little bit of EverQuest. Ragnarok was a big one. Tree of Savior. A lot of those RPGs. But I think the only one that's actually hooked me in, as well as IdleOn, would have to be World of Warcraft. You know, like Elder Scrolls Online was fun, but the damage felt really like floaty. It didn't feel like very impactful when fighting. Final Fantasy XIV was cool, but it wasn't huge on the GCD, the global cooldown. I feel like that was a problem. MapleStory, I mean, it kind of just went into retail and it wasn't as good as it used to be. And then Ragnarok went super pay to win. Same with Tree of Savior, so that kind of ruined it for me as well. But, you know, it's kind of the norm now. And it's kind of the way that you do it. And I think IdleOn has so much to offer. And don't get me wrong, if you're wondering, this game has a lot of pay for power. It does. It really does. You can make yourself pretty extravagantly disgusting with spending some money. But I don't think it is done in a way that ruins the experience. I think at least I think, some people may disagree. But I feel like if you can do it tastefully, it's not as bad. Now, some of the things I obviously don't agree with. But for the most part, I don't have a problem with it. Because as long as the game's playable with it, without it, you're usually fine. Now, obviously with auto loot, I mean, 100%. There's no way in hell you're playing this game without it. But I mean, I've synced in tons of time into this game, money into this game. I'm not feeling so much of sunk cost fallacy for me. And I'm also not getting sort of having the feeling that I have to like the game due to how much time and how much content I'm sunk into it. But I think all around, it's truly a good game. It starts off slow, but then it starts getting addicting over time. And I feel like it's a slow burner. Because believe it or not, a lot of people would start up this game at about, give or take, 5 in the morning. 3 in the morning, like I did when I first started. For like 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you're like, nah, you know, it's not really for me. Next thing you know, you've been going through this drought of MMORPGs, and you can't find one that really sticks for you, and then you get desperate, and then you start playing IdleOn again. And then you give it an honest try. And then you keep on playing it, and keep on playing it. Next thing you know, you're hooked. Next thing you know, you're playing it every single day, and you don't even know why. That's IdleOn in a nutshell. And I guarantee you, tons of people feel the same way. So if you can kind of let it, you know, seep in like a parasite that it is, it'll eventually definitely grow on you. I would say World 1, World 2, World 3 are pretty slow. But then once you hit World 5, that's when stuff really starts to cook. And that's when the excitement comes in. And that's when a lot of the dopamine starts arriving. At least that's my opinion. I mean, feel free to leave it in the comments if you think otherwise. Also, if you're enjoying the series, please let me know. You know, we're going to go through the whole way anyways, but I mean, I read every comment. I always have. I usually comment on every comment, at least I can. I have been commenting so much lately on some stuff just because I'm going to be honest with you, some of the comments completely brain dead, especially the ones that are making a comment about the video when it addresses it in the video, but it just goes to show that they didn't even watch the video. You know, I usually skip those comments now. I used to respond to them all the time. I don't even bother anymore. I just like it's just not even worth it anymore. The flawless 100% reply rate. Okay, going through hundreds of comments. Okay, I can't be doing that anymore. So I don't do that anymore. But you know, I do read them at least, and then I will comment if they're not brain dead. And then you know we're talking like park in front of the store type shit. But yeah, let me know how you feel. And also, I know it's a lot. Okay, IdleOn is a lot though. And I feel like it's one of its biggest downfalls is the fact that it is a lot. But if you're able to survive and be able to work through it, that's where the magic is. Because then I feel like nowadays, too many games rely on giving you instant dopamine gratification or just life in general. And I feel like it's ruined a lot of that experience. If you're not getting that instant gratification, then you're not enjoying your time. With this specifically it has a mixture. It gives you your dopamine receptor to start firing off, makes you go oonga boonga, monkey mode, whatever. But what it also does is there's long ass grinds. And if you can get the long ass grinds for the big upgrades, then you feel really good about yourself because, you had to use your brain, do a little bit of math, get to that point where you need to be. Next thing you know, you're absolutely cooking. You're getting super far in the game. You're much farther than most people who quit. And then it just feels good. If you can get to that point, that's what it's all about. But it's about getting to that point first. And also, not to mention, you can do like a million different things while you're just farming away. So, besides that insane ramble that we went off for a little bit, a little ramborino there, we have officially level 30. So, what I'm thinking is we make a guild. Now, do you have anything that looks good here? Maybe something. Do I dare be able to get away with this? There's no way I get away with this, right? Surely somebody has already taken this. Do you think... I mean, it's also kind of a dead giveaway on a guild, isn't it? You know what? We're going to do it anyways. Now, if we're going to do this, we should probably do this right and do it with the actual normal that we use. This one. Now, we could do the classic orange, which is the main guild, or we could do the yellow, which is a slight offset. No way we get it right. There it is. Now, it gives me a little bit of a chance to create a guild. Just because it has a little bit of the logo, got that little bit of that IBA rep with it. So, it probably, I think it's okay. I'm not promoting it in the Discord, by the way. It's client-based only. Okay? So keep that in mind. It's client-based only. So if somebody else says something about it in the Discord, hey, as long as I don't say, that's all that matters. There we go. We got our guild. Beautiful. Now, for the guild leaders out there, if you're thinking of creating a guild, as a person that has essentially been a person that has been a guild leader for a very long time, it is very hard, and I mean exceptionally hard, to be a guild master in IdleOn due to that lack of interactivity. Okay, because I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a chat box that exists in IdleOn. Nobody uses it. It's literally not a thing. The only time you use it is really for an achievement. So your biggest thing is to get into a Discord or create content. It's an easy way to make a guild. Now, some people succeed being super chatty in the Discords to be able to create one, but in retrospect, it's probably better just to join a guild rather than trying to create a guild. Now, I have 10 guilds that are quite successful, you know, leaderboards, whatnot, but I also have a lot of privilege, you know, with, you know, the content creation and all that. So you can't use me as a good deterrent whether to do it or not. So if you want to go for it, by all means, do what you need to do. But just keep it realistic and realize that you're probably not going to be getting a large level scale guild because most guilds have already been established. But who knows? You know, try it if you will and get it going. And for the bonuses, by the way, guild boxes, super OP. Probably one of the first things that you want to max because once a week, it gives you a bunch of guild boxes to get a chance at some gems. Okay, this is just overall going to help people fundamentally over time get some gems. So, and then if you have a smaller guild, you know, for instance, you get a little bit of bonus GP here. So obviously I'm going to, since we have only one member, throw a little bit of GP action in there. And obviously we have the itty free-to-play army in yellow because I don't want to use the orange. Yellow's okay because that's our sub color. Got to keep that free-to-play, you know? That free-to-play plus, technically, because we got auto loot. Now, I know people in the comments would be like, Griffy, this is not a true free-to-play experience because you have auto loot. Yeah, no, I don't care. Yeah, no. Okay. Usually anybody in any time of this game asks if they're free-to-play if they've only bought an auto loot. Absolutely. Absolutely, I consider. And if you want to take little terms, it's like, no, literally that means it's not free-to-play. It is what it is. Okay, so we're going to buy a doubloon. Get that. Beautiful. This is going to, I would suggest to read Cowboy Jones' questline because this guy, specifically in this part, tells you all about your alchemy. It's a good tutorial. And it's going to want us to buy distilled water. Go ahead and buy one of those. Doesn't hurt. We can upgrade that, but I'm going to hold off from that for now. 45% chance. That's huge. Okay, so these are big bubbles. So you can only equip a certain amount of big bubbles at a time. If you unlock the Sheepy Companion, the one that we were rolling through probably in the previous episode, it'll make it so all of those big bubbles are equipped. So this one lets you produce 2 items at once at the anvil and gives you 25% production speed. Big bubbles like this must be equipped to give bonus, but not to get the extra anvil, I believe. I believe that's the way it works. Because if I go like this, because now, oh, by the way, you just need to click the production twice if you want to produce it twice. So now we're twice as fast. And let me just test that just to make sure that I'm not giving misinformation here. We go like this, and we take off this bubble, okay? And we go here, anvil. Yeah, so you don't need to have it equipped in order for use it. The only to get the extra production bonus is when you have to have it equipped. So it's just another reason to push green bubble because you get 2 production items. And then if you buy infinity hammer, which we're still 70 away, then you can get 3. And then that's the max you can get is 3 at a time. And then this guy requires a Bob Joe Pickle in order to unlock. Funny story, that exact NPC, the cat with the Obol in front of it, actually used to be at the Forest Village shop, which is right beside the Amarok gate, and he decided to move it because it created too much confusion. So Bob Joe Pickle should be for... By the way, you're going to want to buy Bob Joe Pickles every day. Hand this in. Do what you're told. There we go. More gems. Beautiful. We're almost there for an infinity hammer. So then, this is Obols. Okay. So I could go through a long spiel about what Obols are, but I'm not going to. The reason being is You do not need to worry about Obols right now. Obols is just a mechanic that shows up in World 2, but realistically, you're not going to touch Obols until like World 4, World 5. If you get some Obols that drop from creatures, slap it on, call it a day. You want some, the easiest tips, okay? Family tab means it affects everybody in your account. Personal means it only affects that character. You have a reroll stats for your Obols, you have a combined Obol for your stats, and this just tells you all your stats in total from your family and your personal Obol. And then this is a quick swap mechanic where you're allowed to easily quick swap between them. So you have one set and it's easy to swap. That's a quick TLDR of Obols, but if we actually get to a point where we start troubleshooting into Obols, well, then we need level 35 in order to see that. But that was just more or less just to start unlocking the mechanic. By the way, how are we doing on tasks? So we got Blunderhill's achievement. Awesome. So at 35, we'll unlock the next task. Do we have another unlockable? Cool. We can unlock quarterstaff now. Amazing. Okay, so now we need to unlock some vials. This is a good thing to teach people about alchemy. So when we covered alchemy originally, just a quick recap here. Colored cauldrons, you put the characters in there. They generate a set amount of alchemy progress. We can throw that guy in there. Obviously, we're getting 4 per hour, okay? And then once that hits max, you have 1 attempt. And then the bubble chance is 30%. You can either spend that on a bubble chance or you can put it into your boosts. For the most part, you're going to be doing bubble chance for the time being. This is how you unlock your bubbles. And these will unlock specific bubbles. Orange Cauldron's Warrior, Green Cauldron's Archer, Purple Cauldron's Mages, and I would say this is a miscellaneous one, okay? Not really affecting anybody. So then, unlocking more bubbles, the 6 worlds, you can go all the way up and get a bunch of bubbles. All of them are depending on world, and then they eventually get different liquid costs, which brings us to, so these are colored cauldrons, okay? Then it brings us to liquid cauldrons. This is what we need to upgrade in order to upgrade the actual bubble itself, okay? Because you don't generate color cauldrons to unlock the bubbles, because you see how it has a 1 next to it. That means it's your first bleach cauldron that is actually going to give you that bonus. Now, alchemy is ultra slow until late game, or even mid game at this point in time. And then it gets disgusting, okay? Literally disgusting. It is so good. It is crazy good in the late game because of a mage, but that's later on down the line. The one problem with IdleOn is as you progress the game, all the other stuff stays relevant, but not only does it stay relevant, it gets more mechanics. So then it's kind of like you feel like you understand a mechanic and then you get a decent far down through the game and then you realize, oh my God, this is crazy. I have literally spent so much time trying to learn this mechanic. Now it's got a bunch more mechanics. I'm feeling overwhelmed. This is why decision paralysis is so overwhelming in this game. That's why it's its #1 demon. But, like I said before, you can understand alchemy and literally understand any part of this game pretty proficiently. There's even a point where I have a hard time. I don't even want to make an alchemy guide because it's so difficult. Well, it's not that it's difficult. It's lengthy. It takes a lot of time. But I'm just going to kind of walk you through it and give you my sort of mindset when I'm looking at it. So right now, mindset-wise, I know I want to unlock 2 bubbles known as FMJ and Shakracy. FMJ makes it so it gives you more defense, okay? And Shakracy makes your substat, which is your accuracy, for instance, with Warrior, it'd be Wisdom, more potency. So then overall gives you more accuracy. So then you can hit more and then progress through the game. Accuracy is really important to always hit 100% no matter what, because of a mechanic that we'll see in World 3. For now, I mean, I would stay away from buying anything in here. Like if you want, I wouldn't even probably buy the Star Book because it's going to take you forever to generate this liquid. Distilled water, probably still wait through it because it drops in World 3, so you don't really need to spend it. Vials, on the other hand, it's definitely something that you're going to want. And if you got some extra cash, when you do generate some extra cash and you're not too busy focusing on Vault, you can put some more points into this. So let's work on at least getting some more vials. So I believe, not 100% correct, but I believe it's thread and copper ore first. And all you have to do is to attempt a vial, is just drop it on the ground. That's it. That's all you have to do. Boom. And now they're unlocked, and now you never need to do it again. And you can see at the top how many attempts you have. You can buy more attempts that reset daily from here. Even if we want to spend a couple here, maybe give us some gamer moments and give us a couple, but you have to wait a full day after you purchase it in order to get those extra attempts. So now we have one more attempt. We also got new upgrade stones, which is nice. We are going to take a look here, and we want oak logs, I believe. We're dropping oak log here. Bang. Good old 95. Slap that in there. And look at that. We have 3 new. We have to wait until tomorrow. Now, I'm going to tell you this first, just so you have in your mind. The goal for vials is first, get all the easy ones to level 4, which is green. That will be very important for you. The red one right now is level 1, so you need to level up 3 more times. Okay? It's going to be beneficial for you for damage, for a class character. Obviously, we haven't gotten there yet, but just keep that in the back of your peeper there. Take notes. I'm sure at this point in time, after watching the first episode, you're like, shit, I should probably take notes. So, because I don't have a script in front of me. I have been doing this the whole entire time off the top of my head. So if I make mistakes, or I forget anything, well, that's because I don't want to write a script for a, I don't know, 10 to 15 part series video. You know, who wants to do that? Ain't nobody got time for that. Especially I don't. Since we did have the armor stones, the number 2 armor stones, we are actually going to slap them onto this helmet. So we have an 80% chance to get 3 defense, 2 random stats. This has 3. So boom. How did I fail that? How did I fail an 80% chance? It gave me strength and wisdom though. So that's huge. That just means more accuracy for me. That's so stupid. What the hell are the chances of that? As you see, since we're doing a little bit of those quests, we've accumulated a tiny bit of candy. That's great. It's freaking dumb, man. Now we could put some more points into here, and we just want to make sure we get on tasks here. World 1. Yeah, we haven't done really much of anything else. And so now that we got that all set up, we can throw them back at mimics, and we can start progressing more on our other characters, getting them pushed to Amarok, and getting them pushed to their new subclasses. Because we don't want to waste too much time, but, you know, also I'm going to take my time. So now that we have maximized carry a big stick, you might be thinking, what's next? Well, you have a couple options. You could go firmly grasp it, which is really good to level it up. Gives you much more strength, which means much more damage. You could do a little bit of power strike, which would help with your AFK claims. Or you can get level, I believe it's level 30 with double strike, just to increase the damage. I usually like increasing double strike because this is my active character. So now that we got that like that, beautiful. We're going to let him go ahead, and he's got 431, and he needs, what is that, 375? So we'll come back to this character, but we want to make sure that we're cycling through our characters as much as possible. 163. Oh, sick. You got the yellow headband. That's awesome. That will actually be good for later. And he's level 30, so everybody's actually progressing quite smoothly. And what I also want to do, is, if I can, is dump everything into storage. And it would be also really good if I was able to get the RAM. We do not have it, unfortunately, so we progress. I believe this one requires me to buy a doubloon as well. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I think we've already kind of done that quest line, start progressing. You know, so the thing is you actually don't really need to do Cowboy Jones quest line. It was mostly just the World 1 quest line that you're really focusing on. Everything else, I mean, you don't really have to focus it on until World 3. So you can pretty much just skip all of Cowboy Jones. You're going to need to do it if you want to unlock the secret class. You only need to do it on one character. Everything else is not really mattering all that much. Okay, so he's looking pretty good. He's on mimics. They're all getting caught up quite nicely. Goblins. Okay, that means we can get another guy getting his quest done. Lovely. Grab the quest, kill some more, and then we're gonna go ahead and kill Amarok again, and then Bing Bong Beazle. There it is. And if you're wondering what's in that portal down there, it is known as Gigafrogs, but we are... Oh, I forgot to add. But we're not quite at a place where we actually need Gigafrogs right now. We will eventually do it, but at this point in time, we don't need it. We have bigger priorities here. Once we get our subclasses, I think we will back off a little bit. But it's just a matter of getting there first. That's our main priority. Getting our Amarok stuff and getting our subclasses, and then we can go work on skilling and start working on our Amarok armor. Because usually we have a ton more time through like AFK games to get everything done, get our thread leveling up, and getting all that happening. But since I ramped through at a decent pace, I would say this is, for me explaining everything, is essentially pretty decent. We haven't had the time to ramp up any of the time-gated stuff, so once we get that going, it should be a little bit better. Get that rolling. Did I even do the... No, it's just the boss room. Well, I mean, that doesn't really matter all that much, I guess. Oh, by the way, when the fist comes back, it doesn't have a hitbox. It's only when it goes through, but on the return, it doesn't matter. Just in case you're wondering. Okay, cool. I think a part of this game that is also really kind of diminishes people from continuing to play it is it doesn't... The one thing it lacks is that visual progression that you see in most MMORPGs. It does have a level of visual progression to it, but at the same time, you only see hats. We do have wings and robes, which is nice. We used to not have any of that, but since we do have that, it's a little bit better. But you'll see a lot of premium stuff, so it's kind of a hit or miss. Personally, I don't mind it, even though I'm a huge cosmetic guy. Like even in WoW, I would spend hours on end running ICC for Invincible or any of the ICC gear, especially for Death Knight, because I love that set. Also spent literally 10 characters every week running Molten Core for Thunder Fury. Yeah, Thunder Fury mentioned, crazy. So I'm a huge transmog enthusiast, but it's not, for some reason it doesn't really affect me because it's got good gameplay. And I think that's over time, that's what's end up mattering more, is the gameplay over anything. Okay, so did I dump my money? I did not dump my money. Just make sure we just keep on dumping our moolah in there. Just keep on rolling with it. So that's another guy done Amarok, which is huge for us. Because that also means that we should actually probably do this quest line. Just do the quick fiver here. Take off the hat. And I know I've been doing stuff at like a decent pace, so you're gonna have to rewatch the stuff because it's, once it's all edited down, it's gonna be pretty fast. But honestly, trying to explain it any other way, we'd be here for days and hours. There were some people that lasted over 200 hours watching my original speedrun to World 1 to World 4. I don't think it's going to be even close to that long. I think in total, I would say, I would like to say hour-long videos. So, you know, maybe 15, 20 hours to be able to progress through the whole entire series, I would say. It all depends on when we get later and all the fluff that we need to cut out. So on and so forth. Especially all that crap that happened at the beginning. I still can't believe that happened, but I'm just glad we got it fixed instead of in World 3. I'm glad I picked up on that because that happened one time on one of my speed runs. So I had to reset. So I was hoping that it didn't happen again, but fortunately it happened again. Not a big deal though. Okay, a little bit more gems here. Some more candy, which is massive. This candy is going to really, really come in clutch later on. We want to avoid from using candy as much as we can until we start getting into the later worlds where pushing is going to be pretty important. I usually like to do a big World 3 push with candy, just so I can get to World 4, because World 4 is where you get your elite classes. Or if I need time candy to do some unlocking, like for instance, there was a part in World 1 that we need to progress, but we're just not doing it quite yet. But it is something that we would be trying to progress to. So my thought process is here too, by the way, just so people aren't confused, because I'm just slapping in talents. Still focusing on power overwhelming, high polymer whims, carry big stick. That's all still important. And then I'll focus on other stuff. And then for here, I'm just balancing weapon power, the MP total damage percent, and accuracy. So I got a little bit of everything going on, so nothing is falling behind. Because as you see, my accuracy is 110. This stuff only requires 30. You might think that's a little overkill because I have 3 times the amount of accuracy, but accuracy does ramp up quite quickly. So we want to make sure that we're not falling behind when it comes to that. 27 minutes on Unga Ayabunga. You know, things are cooking now. Now we're ramping a little bit. We got a next necklace for our guy as well. I mean, we might as well get our other necklace as well since we're here. Why'd I put gilded sword points there? Whatever. Kind of weird, but all right. I didn't actually mean to put that there, but it is what it is. Maybe we get some more goopy shoes. That would be nice. I love that name. Unga soy bunga. See, that's what happens when you have wisdom on a warrior. Because if it's just warrior with straight strength, unga bunga. If you throw a little bit of wisdom on that warrior, I unga, so I bunga. Okay, well, we literally have enough for our next 2. Gives us a little bit of defense. It's the total damage percent that we like with that necklace. Blanco is a really good addition to the game, just to give us some accessories just to fill up, because it was a long time before we were able to even get accessories, so the fact that we have that now is very, very good. We will do the fungi later. I think also we need to do as a quest. So that's... I don't have a task unlock on this guy yet. 517. I think almost we should push. With this guy? No. Should go back pushing with this guy. Because it's overall faster. Okay, looking good. Well, look who it is. The old Alchemy. See that? When a character's name is literally Alchemy, you definitely tell it's pretty important. Okay, well, while we're working on this, it is currently midnight, my time. So I'm going to let this AFK overnight, and then we're going to be back at it, and we'll be able to get started and going forward. So we'll see you guys in the morning.